So many people think that to become a successful and professional coach, you got to study for 5 to 10 years before you can even start to help someone. That is not true at all. You can help people so much faster than you may be thinking. If you focus on developing competence in these 4 main areas, I want to share with you what the 4 main areas are. So a lot of people misunderstand what coaching actually is. They think it's about giving people advice, about fixing people. It's neither of those 2 things. Coaching is not giving people advice. You're not telling people what to do. And you're not fixing people because people aren't broken. Instead, we want to create a space for our clients to be able to discover what they have that is already within them, right? So they already have the answers. We're the guide to help them work that out. And so the first major category, there's 4 of them. The first one is to have training in what's called listening, or you could say deep listening. You know, a lot of people, you might see this in normal conversations, but a lot of people, they don't listen to each other. They're just talking over each other, waiting for the other person to stop talking so then they can talk. And a lot of people that give advice, they do this. They're just waiting. I've already heard what I need to hear. I just need to tell you something. That shuts down growth. And so we want to create a space of openness, a space of curiosity, and a space of willingness to learn. And we do this through listening. We want to pay attention to not just the words though. We want to pay attention to what is actually not being said as well. We want to pay attention to body language. And there's so much to learn from simply observing our clients and coming from a space and creating a space of where we see our client as whole and complete. That actually affects them just through our experience and the way we're seeing them. The second part of coaching is all about validation. Now, I like to joke and say that I think most of us live in a validation vacuum, right? We never really hear the words that we want to hear. I've spoken to many people and they'll say that, you know, my mom or my dad, they don't even say, I love you. Like they can't bring themselves to say that validation because they grew up in a family where they never said that either. And so a lot of us simply don't hear the words that we need to hear. And a lot of coaching is about validation. To say to our clients, hey, you're doing great. And they'll go, really, am I? Because they're judging themselves so much. You go, yeah, you're doing great. Or a normalization. It's okay to feel what you're feeling right now. It's okay to think what you're thinking right now. One of the biggest problems that a lot of people have is they're just judging themselves for thinking what they're thinking or feeling what they're feeling. And a coach can help normalize that by saying, hey, it's all right. That's okay. That's normal. This is where a coach starts to become really effective, is a coach knows what questions to ask. And this is where a lot of the training for coaches lies in, is in learning what questions to ask our clients. The quality of our thinking is determined by the quality of the questions that we ask ourselves. Now, the quality of the questions that we ask ourselves are going to determine the quality of the outcomes that we have in our life and ultimately the quality of our life. All comes down to our thinking. One of the things that Einstein said is you can't actually solve the problems in life that you've got without changing the thinking that has created it. And how do we do that? Through asking questions. Asking great questions that are going to spark new perspectives, new ways of seeing things. One of the things that Wayne Dyer says is if you change the way you see things, the things that you actually look at are going to change. The last part of coaching is education. Now, there are some times when the client doesn't have access to what they need because they've never been taught. And so coaching bridges the gap where the family stopped, coaching continues. So I like to call coaching reparenting. So say, for example, the family only taught your client so much. So for example, in my family, I didn't really learn too much about how to express my emotions. That's not a judgment at all. I love my family. That just wasn't really taught that well or demonstrated that well. So coaching for me has helped me bridge that gap to learn it's okay to be angry. It's okay to be sad as a man. I'm allowed to cry. I have access to all of my feelings. Coaching has been a great education for me. And it's been something that I love passing down to all of the students here and all of my clients that I get to work with. So these are the 4 categories. And if you get training in all of these 4 things, you'll start to develop the competence of listening, validation, questions, and education. Developing the competence, you're going to start developing the confidence, and that's what you need to get started to become a successful coach. If you resonate with any of this, I'd love to invite you to come along to a live global broadcast we're running. It's all about how to become a successful coach. It's completely free. All you need to do is click the link below. You'll head over to another page where I'd love to tell you a little bit more about the event. I trust I will see you on the other side.